Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and what a commanding piece this is, huh? Is this amazing? This is the furthest I've ever been away from the camera in any of my video blogs. Boy, this is amazing. A beautiful, commanding, just awesome Beatles 1966 concert poster from just 8 days before they gave their last ever concert, yes, on the 66 tour. Now this one's from St. Louis, Missouri, but notice that it doesn't say St. Louis on here anywhere, not to mention Missouri. That's because, of course, it's a local poster only, and it was just posted all around the greater St. Louis metropolitan area, we assume. But there's no reason to put St. Louis on there because, you know, local concert posters are just that. That's what they are. Everybody knew, of course, where Bush Memorial Stadium was. That's all the real ID that was needed. It was a brand new park that had just opened 3 months earlier, and of course housed the Cardinals and everything else. And now keep in mind, the 66 tour of the Beatles was the one that did not sell out. They sold out like gangbusters in 64 and 65, but not in 66. So traditional marketing and advertising kicked in at this point, and thus you have a poster like this. In fact, how about this line that you see on everything else? Good seats now available. Ooh, that's unfathomable when it comes to the Beatles. But, you know, it did happen. They played all giant stadiums in 66. A lot of fans had seen them once or twice and were taking a pass because perhaps word was also around you couldn't hear them play for all the screaming, so you had to have some real marketing. Interesting notice on this, above the Beatles' name up there, Styx, Bayer and Fuller and 7-Up together presents the Beatles. This is remarkably the only Beatles concert poster ever. Now, I could say that I've collected a long time, but I think I can say with confidence, because we've seen a sample pretty much of every Beatles concert poster, at least one, where the Beatles were presented by a product. That's really amazing. Not a concert promoter, you know, like Sid Bernstein presents, or not a radio station, but actually by a product, and above their name, no less. Wow, so that's pretty. I should tell you what those products up there are. You know one, maybe not the other. Styx, Bayer and Fuller was a traditional department store chain around the St. Louis area that dated back to 1892. So they were a real local institution, and of course the 7-Up beverage needs no explanation whatsoever. I was doing a little bit of theorizing, and it's quite possible that this poster hasn't been seen widely or anything because the Home Office in New York, whoever was representing Nat Weiss, the lawyer, or Epstein himself, whatever, saw this poster and saw the product above the Beatles' name and said, no, you can't go out with that. No, nobody presents the Beatles except maybe the station or the promoter. You know, in 64 you could get away with something like that. They didn't need concert posters, but by 66 the Beatles were so established they definitely did not need anybody presenting them, even when they did need to sell seats. Excuse me. So that's speculation on my part, but maybe not a half-bad idea as to why. You know, if you think about it, all the English concert posters, I can't read Japanese. It's possible on the Japanese appearance in 66 there was a sponsor on there, but above their name presenting them, I really doubt it. I really think this is an anomaly and a one-time occurrence, and maybe that's why the poster isn't really well known in Beatles collecting, like the Candlestick Park one 8 days later. Everybody knows about, a lot of people have, but this one seems to have just, in fact, it seems to have come, well, from the New York office, but I'll get to that in just a moment. So you've got the Beatles letters here in really nice, what I call stair-step fashion. You know, you got three down, and then one more up. It's nice, you know, nice way to grab attention and stuff like that. And then you've got the Sunday, August 21st date on either side of the picture with the 8 p.m. time. What's really was really hard for the Beatles is that they had to play a daytime show on this very date, August 21 as well. They had to do a makeup show in Cincinnati because it was rained out the night before. So that means the Beatles did 2 shows, Cincinnati and St. Louis, daytime, nighttime, one day, 340 miles apart. So, you know, that was kind of like reminded them of the old days in England where they would, you know, have 2 or 3 or 4 gigs. 4 was unusual, but, you know, a lot of running around in their earliest days before they had made it. So, must have brought back those memories. Tickets, as you can see, $4.50, $5, and $5.50, and then some information on where to get them below that. The Dick Esser Ticket Agency, with an address here, was not just any middleman. That was actually the agency that handled tickets for the show. Then you've got the Styx department store, referenced up above. and 2 locations given, and then you've got Joe's for Music shops. I think that's pretty, fun and innocent and early, eat at Joe's or whatever is a restaurant. Here you've got Joe's for Music. So he was handling Beatle tickets. And then along the bottom, a Regal Sports promotion. All these local companies, of course. Interestingly, just below that, you've got the printer credit down there, and it's printed by the Globe Poster Corporation. But, that's makes you really scratch your head and wonder if this was printed in Baltimore by that Globe, or is it possible it was a small shop or a remnant, a leftover of the Globe Poster Company, which was once in St. Louis. There was actually 3 different Globe Poster Companies. The famous one for concert posters is in Baltimore, and always churned out cardboard concert posters, but there was a Globe Poster Company in Chicago and in St. Louis, mostly associated with like big band posters from like the 20s, 30s, even 40s back then. So I'm not sure which Globe Poster Corp this is, but I know they are the ones that printed this this poster rather, excuse me. So on the 30th anniversary of this show, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch did a story, which logically enough would make a nice story in 1996. And they said, that story stated that because of the rain, the Beatles actually went on early. Because of rain, I should say. It was raining just like the show before was rained out in Cincy. They did that during the day. Well, it was raining again tonight in St. Louis, but rather than keep moving shows, they just put a tarp over the stage, and the show did go on. And then, as I said, the Beatles went on early. They went on as the 3rd of the 5 acts on the bill. None of them mentioned on this poster, but I've covered this in another blog. So who had to follow the Beatles this night in St. Louis? Was it the Circle, the Remains, the Ronettes? I don't know. It sure would suck that night. It'd be pretty tough to see half the people leave as you go to do your set. But, for the rest of their lives, they could always state that the Beatles once opened for me, or if it's a band, for us. So that'd be pretty fun. Now the origin of this concert poster, where it came from, that's just the most fascinating part about this. When tickets were going on sale, I don't know which outlet or if it was the box office, a couple of teenage girls in St. Louis saw this poster. I don't know if it was this copy, probably not, but saw the poster in the back of the box office and asked if they could have it. And the person naturally said, well, we're, selling tickets, and so we need to use it and keep it here, but give me your name and address, I'll see what I can do for you. So the girls did. They each gave them their name and address, and 2 weeks later, the posters arrive. Each girl gets a package in the mail from, I believe, the New York office. Actually, I can't say that definitively, but I assume that because one was the St. Louis poster, and the other was, I've blogged it before, a similar poster, very similar, of Shea Stadium in New York, big paper poster. And so it's interesting because the girls got together, and it's like the one who got the Shea poster was disappointed. She wanted the St. Louis one because that's the show she went to, so she gave it to her friend. So this friend went forward and saved all these years, both the St. Louis and the Shea poster. But for that to happen, a call, I was thinking for a Shea poster to turn up in St. Louis, obviously a call had to go from St. Louis back to a home office in New York, and there's just must have been a magical chain of people who cared to make that happen, where a couple of girls could leave their address at the box office with all the millions of Beatle fans there are, and each get, a large oversized concert poster in the mail. It's just really a stirring story. It's just really, just fate and good fortune was on their side, that's for sure. So as I said, and I blogged it, the Shea is the same big yellow paper size, and then the St. Louis. These are the only 2 oversized sheet concert posters for the Beatles ever in America. Great, wonderful, historic stuff from the band that sits atop everybody else in contemporary music and probably the whole 20th century. So, just lovely stuff. Hope you enjoyed seeing it. Nice showing it to you. And we'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.